Inside you, right this very second, there's a silent, microscopic war going on. It's this constant battle against all sorts of invaders, and the only thing standing in their way is one of the most sophisticated defense forces in the entire universe, your immune system. So, let's dive into this incredible two-tiered system and see exactly how it keeps you safe. First things first, we gotta identify the enemy, right? Every single day, your body is making this crucial decision between what's self, your own healthy cells, and what's non-self. But what is it that actually triggers this whole declaration of war? What does this enemy look like? Well, that enemy has a name. It's called an antigen. The best way to think about it is like a molecular fingerprint that just screams, I don't belong here. It could be a piece of a virus, a bacterium, a fungus, even something like pollen. Basically, anything your body doesn't recognize as its own gets flagged as an antigen, and that's what sets off all the alarms and gets the troops moving. Okay, so your defense is split into two main branches. And the very first one on the scene, that's your innate immunity. These guys are the first responders. They're the patrol officers, the paramedics, always on call, ready to react to any kind of general threat the second it shows up. They are your absolute frontline defense. So the whole strategy here is all about speed and, well, just covering the basics. You're born with this system totally ready to go. Its response is incredibly fast, we're talking minutes, but it's nonspecific. It recognizes general danger signs, like features that are common on a lot of bacteria, but it can't tell one specific virus from another. And this part is absolutely crucial. It has zero memory. Every single fight is like the very first time. And the tools it uses are pretty diverse. I mean, it all starts with physical walls, like your skin. But if something gets through, you've got phagocytes. These are cells like macrophages that literally hunt down and eat invaders. Then you have natural killer cells, or NK cells, which are like assassins that take out your own cells if they've been compromised. There's also the complement system, which is a bunch of proteins that can actually punch holes in pathogens. And tying it all together are cytokines, the chemical messengers that are basically screaming, invasion, and coordinating the whole initial defense. But what happens when those first responders are up against something totally new or just completely overwhelming? Well, they call for backup. And that's when Tier 2 rolls in, your adaptive or acquired immunity. Now, this isn't your general patrol. Oh no. This is the elite, highly trained special operations unit, custom built for one single target. And this system, its characteristics are pretty much the exact opposite of the innate response. You aren't born with it, you build it up, you acquire it through exposure over your entire life. Its defining feature is its incredible specificity. It creates a tailor-made weapon for one and only one specific antigen. Now that kind of customization takes time, so its initial response is slow, often taking days. But here's the absolute game changer. It creates a powerful, long-lasting memory. So, how specific are we talking about here? It's kind of mind-blowing, actually. Through this incredible process of shuffling its genes around, your adaptive system can create an army of lymphocytes, your B and T cells, that can recognize up to 1 billion different antigens. 1 billion! It's like having a library with 1 billion different keys, and each one is just waiting for the one specific lock it was designed to open. Okay, so let's just put them side by side for a second. You've got your innate system, it's fast, it's nonspecific, and it uses generalist cells like phagocytes for immediate containment. Then you've got your adaptive system. It's slow, it's highly specific, and it's made up of expert lymphocytes like your B cells and T cells. One gives you immediate damage control, while the other delivers a precise, targeted, and totally unforgettable solution. But here's the most brilliant part of this whole thing. These two tiers aren't just working separately. Nope. They are partners, and they have a perfectly coordinated battle plan. The innate system doesn't just hold the line, it's also an intelligence-gathering unit, and its job is to brief the adaptive system on the exact nature of the enemy. So, any successful defense is going to follow a pretty clear tactical playbook. First, the enemy antigen has to be processed and then presented to the right commanders. Second, the specific lymphocytes that are built for that one fight are activated and start cloning themselves. Third, those soldiers launch what we call the effector response. That's the actual attack. And finally, the antigen gets eliminated from the body. This handoff is the absolute critical point. An innate cell, maybe a dendritic cell, acts like a scout. It gobbles up an invader, breaks it into pieces, and then it presents a piece of that antigen on its own surface. Then it travels to a lymph node and shows this intelligence to the adaptive T cells. It's basically saying, hey, this is the bad guy. This is who you need to build an army against right now. So once they're activated, these adaptive special forces have two main strategies. There's humoral immunity, which is led by B cells. They turn into these things called plasma cells. You can think of them like little biological weapons factories, just pumping out millions of antibodies that swarm and tag invaders to be destroyed. Then there's cell-mediated immunity. That's the ground war, led by T cells that either go out and directly assassinate your body's own infected cells, or they act like field generals coordinating the entire battle. And right at the heart of all that coordination are the helper T cells. I mean, these are the master strategists. After they see the antigen, they're the ones who decide on the battle plan. If it's a virus hiding inside your cells, they'll call for a Th1 response, which ramps up the cell-killing forces. But if it's a bacteria just floating around in your bloodstream, they'll switch to a Th2 response, giving B cells the green light to just flood the zone with antibodies. Now, this whole coordinated dance it's amazing, but it still isn't the adaptive system's greatest power. Its true game-changing advantage, its secret weapon, is the ability to remember the face of every single enemy it has ever defeated. And this slide just shows you the result perfectly. The very first time you made a new pathogen, that primary response is slow. It takes days to build up that specific army from scratch, and that's why you feel sick. But the second time you're exposed, oh, that's the rematch. The secondary response is immediate, it's massive, and it is overwhelming. You've got memory cells already on standby, and they eliminate the invaders so fast you probably never even knew you were exposed in the first place. This is exactly why you only get chickenpox once. So this is really the key takeaway from all of this. The ultimate power of your immune system isn't just its ability to win the fight, it's the ability to learn from that victory, to create this living biological memory of an enemy so that it can never pose a serious threat to you ever again. And that very principle, teaching your adaptive system to remember a threat without you having to get sick first, that is the entire foundation of how vaccines work. Which really leaves us with one final, pretty fascinating question, doesn't it? We've just gone through this two-tiered, learning, adapting defense force of almost unimaginable complexity. So, with a system this powerful on our side, how is it that we still get sick? How does any pathogen ever get the upper hand? And how does this seemingly perfect system sometimes turn against us?